Flash briefing. Peace.
Jamie, getting your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Officials are trying to learn the motives behind two mass shootings this week in California. Yesterday, a man shot and killed 7 farm workers in the northern coastal town of Half Moon Bay. A suspect is in custody. Last weekend, a man shot and killed 11 people celebrating the Lunar New Year in the Los Angeles area. He was traced the next day, but killed himself as authorities closed in. California Governor Gavin Newsom says his state has done a lot to stop gun violence, but federal lawmakers won't do the same.
We got serious about these things and led the nation on assault weapons bans.
Yeah, well, then they'll just kill with swords and knives. So, you know?
And red flag laws, saving lives. But the federal
it doesn't save lives to ban guns.
There will be various vigils in California this week to honor the victims of the shootings.
It allows any house to be broke into.
President Biden will meet with members of
got
Congress
no gun.
today. As NPR's Asma Khalid reports, this comes amid a showdown over the federal government's debt ceiling.
The U.S. hit its debt limit last week, and the Biden administration is warning that if Congress does not raise the debt ceiling, the consequences could be dire. The White House insists it will not negotiate over the issue, but Republicans want spending cuts. Biden is meeting with Democratic leaders at the White House this afternoon. Later this evening, he's hosting a reception for new members of Congress. The White House did not specify what's on the agenda, but the debt ceiling is one of the thorniest issues the president needs to solve with Congress's help. The White House has also said the president will sit down with the new House Republican Speaker, but has not given a date yet for that meeting.
Oh, that'd be lame.
Asma Khalid, NPR News.
A federal jury in Washington, D.C. convicted 4 members of the far-right group the Oath Keepers on several counts. These include the rarely used seditious conspiracy charge for their roles in the January 6th attack. This is the second group of Oath Keepers members to be convicted on federal charges.
That's a fact.
The group's founder, Stuart Rhodes, and a top deputy were found guilty of seditious conspiracy last November.
It speaks the truth.
Stocks opened lower this morning amid an uneven batch of corporate earnings. NPR's Scott Horsley reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 160 points in early trading.
Stock in 3M declined after the maker of Post-it notes and other products reported lower than expected quarterly profits. 3M also says it's cutting about 2,500 factory jobs around the world. Johnson & Johnson's fourth quarter profits topped expectations despite a drop in sales for the company's COVID-19 vaccine. Twitter is facing a growing number of lawsuits over unpaid rent. The social media giant, which was already sued for back rent in California, is now being challenged for failing to pay its landlord in London. And strong demand is pushing up prices at the gas pump. AAA reports the average price of gasoline has jumped about 12 cents a gallon in the last week. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow is now down 150 points. You're listening to NPR News
2 steps
from Washington.
forward in price.
The Oscar nominations are out. Nominees for the Best Director include Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangles of Sadness. The winners will be announced on March 12th.
Right, that would be the interest rate.
The U.S. and Israel are conducting one of their biggest ever joint military exercises. This comes as tension is high over Iran's nuclear program and ahead of Secretary of State Antony Blinken's planned visit to the region next week. NPR's Daniel Estrin reports from Tel Aviv.
Israeli media claim the joint exercise is simulating an attack on Iran. Israel and the U.S. say their navies, air, and ground forces are training how to work together for, quote, a variety of regional threats. The Israeli army says more than 6,000 U.S. troops and more than 1,500 Israeli troops are taking part. U.S. Central Command says it's training with strategic bombers, refueling aircraft, U.S. Space Force assets, and special operations troops. They're also conducting drills involving long-range precision fires and refueling Israeli warships. The exercises in Israel and the Mediterranean Sea are planned for the next several days. Daniel Estrin, NPR News.
I got an idea. Why don't
Germany
you keep your bombs
says it
out
will
to
soon
sea?
decide whether to send its battle tanks to Ukraine to defend against Russian forces. Germany has been under pressure to do so, but has resisted. Instead, other countries, such as Poland, are waiting for Berlin's approval to send German-made tanks owned by Poland to Ukraine. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.
Activists have been working to restrict access to certain types of books in schools. I'm Andrew Limbong, host of NPR's Book of the Day podcast, and we spent a week talking to authors of banned books to get their take on being subject to a political
let's
maelstrom.
stop there. A week's good
Listen
enough.
to the Book of the
Amazon.
Day podcast.
Skip.
In NASA news, NASA and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, announced Tuesday a collaboration to demonstrate a nuclear thermal rocket engine in space and enabling capability for NASA crewed missions to Mars. NASA announced Thursday its
Nuclear
new
heat
Mars
rocket.
Sample Receiving Project
Heat-seeking
Office,
nuke.
responsible for receiving and curating the
What does
first samples
NASA need a
returned from the Red
heat-seeking
Planet,
nuke
will be
rocket for?
located at the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston. The
Answer me
safe and
that.
rapid release of Mars samples after
Are they
they
shooting
return to
asteroids
Earth to
with it?
laboratories worldwide for science investigations will. Students from the Boys and Girls Club of the Flathead Reservation in Lake County in Roanoke,
Or are they just
Montana,
trying to make a deal
will
to
have an
sell 'em
opportunity
to
this
freaking
week to hear from a
military?
NASA astronaut aboard the International Space Station. The Space to Earth call will air live at 12 p.m. EST on Wednesday, January 25th on NASA television, the NASA app, and the agency's website. The agency will honor members of the NASA family who lost their lives while furthering the cause of exploration and discovery, including the crews of Apollo 1 and Space Shuttle's Challenger and Columbia, leading up to and during the agency's annual Day of Remembrance Thursday, January 26th. This year's NASA Day of Remembrance precedes the 20th Anniversary. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, Deputy Administrator Pam Melroy, Bhavya Lal, Associate Administrator for Technology, Policy and Strategy, as well as other agency speakers, will participate in the 2023 American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, AIAA, SciTech Forum from Monday, January 23rd to Friday, January 27th in National Harbor, Maryland. In weather. In Seattle, it's 39 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can look for lots
Okay,
of
tell us
clouds
about that
with a
heat-seeking
high of
rocket
45
again. Come
degrees
on,
and a
what
low
you
of
got?
43 degrees.
Let me hear it one more
From
again.
NASA. NASA and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA,
Defense
announced
Advanced
Tuesday a
Defense
collaboration to
Research
demonstrate
Project.
a nuclear thermal rocket engine in
NASA.
space and enabling capability for
nuclear
NASA
thermal
crewed missions
rocket.
to Mars.
AKA heat-seeking missile. All right, Amazon.
NASA
Off.
announced Thursday its new
Amazon.
Mars sample
Off. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
How do you evade someone who's trying to steal your barbecue?
You don't.
Kebab
You
and
go
leaf.
at them head at on. Okay, well, have a great day. NASA Defense Department is researching heat-seeking nuclear rockets. Ridiculous. All right, peace.